So here we have my other Necchi Bunova. This is the one which didn't come by default with the Wonder Wheel, but that doesn't really matter. But what I wanted to do is show you something which I found quite interesting about this particular machine, and that's that you can adjust the amount of pressure it takes to move the zigzag lever and the needle position lever. If you go too far, so you can see how this is very, very light. If you go too far, what happens is the zigzag motion, so if I activate the zigzag motion, will cause this to move. So there's a very fine adjustment, and it's very easy to do, to make sure that this isn't too stiff and this isn't too stiff either. So you want them kind of comfortably loose so that you can do your work and free motion and adjust them, but that they will stay in place once they're adjusted. So what happens is, if you look on top of the machine, there's a post here and there's a post here. So this front post and the back post are the things you're concerned about. In fact, I'm kind of wrong. There are two back posts, and both of them are the ones you need, so they're back here. So I'll show you where the screws are and zoom in a moment. So what I found is very helpful is to have a small screwdriver, because they're both standard screws. And let me start this. So zooming in here, what you can see, the way I do this is, if you move this back and forth like that, what you'll see here is a little screw, but it's backwards. It's from the back, the axis is, but it's sitting on that shaft down there. Which I'm hoping will focus in. Let me just try this again. Yeah, there we go. So you can see that little screw there. And then we want the reverse side of it, which is from the back. On this side, when we've got this lever here moving, see if I can locate this screw. Ah, there it is. So in the very back, there's that screw, and when you move the lever, you'll see it moving there. So this one you can get from the front, and that controls the tension of that clamp around the central post. So you can see there's a post that sits on, and what happens, let's see if I can aim this up a bit more. When you tighten that screw, it makes it stiffer. So it's easy to do. You just get in there with the little screwdriver, and then righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. If you turn it to the right, then it will tighten it. You may need, it's hard to do this holding the camera as well as the screwdriver and everything else, but you just very simply turn it, and that will tighten it up. And this other one's from the back, so let's go from the back, and I'll show you how to do this one. Okie dokie. From the back, what I always find is easier is if you move the levers, then you can see what's going on. So there's your zigzag lever, and down there is the screw you need. So it's going around that post. So what you do, just get in there, and lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. If I loosen that slightly, now what will happen is that zigzag lever is super easy to move. So what you have to do once you're finished with this is make sure it's not too loose, so that when the zigzag is active, so you can see how loose that is now, it's very loose. But this may cause a problem. So you can see what's happening. That thing, everything's moving all over the place. So that's too loose now, because that's causing, that won't stay in place. So I need to tighten that a slight bit, just to make sure it's not wobbling all over the place. So you can see that's moving, so we don't want that. So what we'll do is we will go back and tighten that up a tidgy bit. Okay, so going back in here, there it is. Tighten that a bit. That's a bit stiffer, but is it enough? Let's see what happens. It's still moving slightly, so I would say you want to tighten that up just a little bit more. Okay. Maybe just a tidgy bit more. Now this is super stiff, so that's too much. So we definitely don't want it that stiff. So what I found is it's very, very, I mean, you're talking an eighth of a turn or something. Okay, so that's super loose again. So it does tend to jump from super tight to super loose. That seems like a good, it's still easy to move and it's not too tight. So now when we spin around this way, what we can see is nothing's moving when we're running the zigzag, just the mechanism is doing what it's supposed to do. But this lever, the needle position lever, is not shifting. And if we turn this to 0, you know, it's holding fast. So that's about the right, still easy to move. And this is, you know, nothing shifting out of place. So from my point of view, that's a success. And we have all the mechanism in there cleaned and working. This is a really, really nice machine. And strangely enough, this isn't the one I'm going to keep, but it's got the nicest motion. So this one will go to a happy new home. Alright. Hope you found that interesting. But look at that out of action. Isn't that delicious? Super cool. You can just hear the paper underneath being touched by the mechanism, but that's not a problem. And then you just have to put the covers back on and done. Bye for now.